Hey besties, it's Newt, back again with another Animal Crossing video, and today we are going to play some Happy Home Paradise. That's right, besties. We are decorating today in HHP because I can and because I wanted to. We will be returning shortly to my post-apocalyptic city core themed island of Tokyo 3 and to my New England themed town core island of Nautilus. We actually have to do a little bit of cleaning on Nautilus because it is currently decorated for Christmas of 2024. So we'll fix that in another video, but today I wanted to do some decorating. Now, there is a trend in the Sims community, you know, the Sims franchise, if you will, of doing an opposite twins bedroom where you have like one side is like maybe pink and frilly and like colorful, and then the other side is like goth or something like that. It's a really cool decorating trend, and I wanted to try and recreate something like that in Animal Crossing, but I also wanted to do like a seasonal build, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to do a summer build or an autumn build. So we're just gonna do both today. We're gonna do both. We're gonna do a summer house and a fall house. And I also wanted to decorate them kind of like they're the same house, so like all the trees are in the same spots and all the furniture is in roughly the same place, but it's all like different colors and different little decorations and things. So if that doesn't make any sense right now, no worries, it will all make sense when you see it in the video. We will be decorating these houses for my two squirrel friends, Mint and Macally. Mint is gonna have the summer house and Macally is gonna have the autumn house. And let me know in the comments down below which house you end up enjoying more and which one I should post on my HHP profile. But this is just gonna be a very chill speed build. We're gonna do the outsides of the houses first and then the insides of the houses. And I'm just gonna chat about the build and about life update stuff. So if you wanna open your game and play along with me or draw or clean your room while you're watching, feel free. I love hearing about what people get up to while they watch my videos. So with all of that explanation out of the way, I just have one more thing before we get started with the video. I am currently helping my friend Mohammed raise funds to help his family. They are living in Gaza right now. He's there with his wife and his young son Hashem, who is so cute. I can't even stand it. He is trying to raise money to help get food and other supplies that they need to live. I'm gonna have his GoFundMe and his PayPal linked in the description so you can check them out. And I'm also planning on doing another charity stream for Mohammed and his family towards the end of September. So I'm gonna have a poll up on the channel about what kind of charity stream we should do. We can either do a stream where I tour your Happy Home Paradise builds or where you guys control my Happy Home Paradise build. So if either of those appeal to you, if you want to cause some chaos and have some fun playing Animal Crossing and do it for a really great cause and helping an amazing dad take care of his family, then make sure to check out that poll. Make sure to check out the links in the description, share that fundraiser around if you can, and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I post or go live. That way you'll know when we're doing the fundraiser. So with all that out of the way, you know what to do, besties. Grab yourself a snack, grab yourself something to drink, and let's get right into it. Hey besties, it's voiceover Nat here, and we are starting on Mint's house. I decided to use this lot because I liked how there was like a beach part and a grass part, and I also discovered that you can plant normal trees on the beach, which you can't do on your regular island. So that was actually extremely helpful for this build. It didn't occur to me until after I started building that I was like, oh, that could be a problem for when we switch to the fall build, but it's okay because it all worked out in the end. I also picked this house shape, one, because I don't use it often because I don't normally like it, and two, because I thought that the color scheme could work really well for summer or fall. So there you go. I wanted this build to be different from my normal builds in some ways. I wanted to focus on how it looked from the front specifically, because sometimes when I'm doing Happy Home Paradise or like even my own island, I get really distracted by like all the different angles and stuff. You know, I gotta get all my angles, besties, you know me. So this set of builds, I just wanted to be the front angle so you could like look at them and be like, oh, that one looks like this and that one looks like that, because the trees all match up with each other and the landscaping matches up. I think it turned out really cool. So once again, let me know in the comments which one you ended up liking more. Also, I'm about to notice that there's a rainbow at this time of day, which I think is very cute. But I honestly thought going into this that I was going to be biased towards the fall build, especially because my forever island, Nautilus, is like right in between summer and fall. I think it's in September, like the dream address is saved in September on like a foggy morning. So I feel like I was kind of leaning towards the fall build, but honestly, I kind of like the summer one. It's really hard. And also, I like the exteriors way more than I like the interiors. The interiors were a struggle, especially because I was trying to do like a wonky, like fake outside part. You're gonna see that when we go inside. But yeah, let me know which one you like more, because they both turned out pretty cool, I think, personally. And originally, I kind of wanted her house to be like an ice cream shop, because her original house idea was an ice cream shop, and I just thought it was a cute, like, theme, I guess, for Mint, because her name is Mint. Not that, okay, no offense to people who enjoy mint ice cream, but it's not for me. That's not my ministry. I'm really sorry to all the mint ice cream enjoyers. But she really wanted an ice cream shop, but I ended up changing it to like more of like a private beach with these surfboards, and she has like a little balloon stand, and then there's balloons, and then the other build I use different balloons. So things change a little bit in between the different builds, but they're mostly the same. So I think it's pretty cool, and I'm excited to see what they look like side by side at the very end. But yeah, the rest of the video is going to be going back and forth between talking about the build and life update stuff, because I have not posted in a minute. Once again, not on purpose, but this time it was like a combination of both good and bad things, because I was busy doing good things, but then also bad things kept happening, mostly related to my health, which I'm totally fine. This is not like a dire situation for me. I'm okay. Just have some chronic issues that flare up sometimes, and they are not fun. And actually, you know what? One of the story times in this video relates to that in a way that at the time was very stressful, but ended up honestly being quite amusing, to me at least. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe you'll hear it and you'll be like, oh God, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. But we're placing down these bushes now, and I'm also sort of figuring out the final layout. I love these flower bushes. I honestly kind of like the bushes more than I like the regular flowers. Like, I just think the colors are really fun, and the shape of the bush, like the round shape, is really cute. But we're figuring out the final layout. I'm going to move those flamingos and that little tree in front of the house sort of back a little bit. I'm going to move the bike, and then I'm going to add the little balloon stand that came with the 2.0 update, the like fairy tale one. I think it looks really cute out there. I'm sorry, Mint, that you can no longer have an ice cream stand because it didn't exist. I thought that it did. I think I was mixing up the ice cream case and the fortune cookie stand in my mind, but it's okay because the balloon stand ended up looking better, and I got to add balloons all over the build, and then I added balloons to the other build, and then I also added a little table to eat at on the beach. And the actual builds themselves are going to be pretty much the same layout, just with different objects swapped out. So you'll see when we get to the autumn build. And once again, let me know which one you like more. But now we're going to get into the life update, which will likely be chopped up throughout this video because it is very long. I just want to have a disclaimer. This is not normally how my life is. I do live in a cartoon, and a lot of stuff happens to me, but I just happen to have a very busy several months and did a lot more things than I normally do. And also, it's been several months, so this did not all happen like at once because I got a lot done. And I went some places, and I got sick in some very interesting places. But we're going to go back to June, early June 2025, when a travesty was taking place. They were about to shut down Muppet Vision 3D at Walt Disney World. Now, I have not been to Walt Disney World since I was a child. The last time I went, they still had Fast Pass, like the the paper one that came out of the little machine, to give you context. But Muppet Vision was kind of like a white whale for me in a way, because when I was a kid, it was one of the rides that scared me because I was scared of every ride when I was a kid. I didn't like the part where they used the vacuum suck thing on the guy, the 3D guy. If you went to Muppet Vision, rest in peace Muppet Vision, you know what I'm talking about. But I remember very vividly as a child having like a crying fit on that ride, and I think I had to be removed from the ride. I don't remember finishing the ride. And then I found out they're closing Muppet Vision, and I was like, I have to complete this saga in my life. You know, I love the Muppets. I love Jim Henson. And I felt like Muppet Vision 3D was kind of like this white whale in my life. And when I found out it was closing, I had to complete that chapter. So I decided, you know what? My mod Chloe lives in Florida. We can hop in the car. The two of us can drive down to Hollywood Studios and just spend the day there. We're not going to any other parks. We're not getting the lightning lane. We're not buying expensive meal. Just go to the park, spend the day there, ride Muppet Vision, complete the arc of my life. And it'll be great. And it was. There were a lot of Muppet fans there. We went there a couple days before it closed, so it was very somber, I will say. The final ride that we did that day, there were people crying. There was this older woman. We were in the front row, which was amazing. But there was this older woman next to me who, at the end of the show, she like turned to me and she's like, I'm gonna miss this ride. And you know what? I agree with her. I'm gonna miss Muppet Vision too, because it was so delightful. And I love all the practical effects, and I love when they have like an actor come out into the audience dressed as Sweetums. It's everything about that ride was so perfect, and it is a travesty that is gone now, and I'm gonna hold a grudge against Monsters Inc. for the rest of my life. But yeah, that was my pilgrimage to Disney World to say goodbye to Muppet Land. Rest in peace to Rizzo's disgusting pizzeria. It actually wasn't that bad, but it was like a family pizzeria. It was not fine dining at the Disney parks. Rest in peace, Muppet Vision. You'll be missed dearly. And I hate you, Monsters Inc. I now hold a grudge against you, even though I'm very nostalgic for that movie. But what's funny is, first of all, I just remembered the last time I was at Disney World, Hollywood Studios was still called MGM Studios, to give you guys an idea of how long it's been since I have been to that theme park. But another thing that was not there when I was a little kid was the Slinky Dog coaster. And me and my mod Chloe kind of got like Slinky Dog pilled while we were there. Now, I will elaborate on what I mean by that in a moment, but this is going to be the end of the exterior of Mint's house and the beginning of the exterior of Callie's house. See, I told you guys I can ramble forever, but we are doing the same house shape, just with different colors, and we're going to put the trees in the same spots as in Callie's house, but with different trees. At first, I just did the regular trees, but then I ended up changing them to apple trees because I thought that that was more fun and more autumnal. So there you go. We're going to be placing down all the objects that I like know what they are and where they're supposed to go, and then we're going to experiment a little bit with some different objects. So get excited, besties, for more objects. But anyways, I will elaborate briefly on what I mean by Slinky Dog pilled. Now, Chloe and I were under no illusions that we would ride the Slinky Dog. Like I said, we had no lightning lane, no priority access. You know, we were just going in with the base ticket and a hope and a dream, and we were gonna ride Muppet Vision, and then we were gonna see what else happened. We rope dropped Rise of the Resistance, so we were like, we're gonna ride that, and we're gonna ride Muppets, and we'll see what else we could fit into the day. But we somehow managed to ride Slinky Dog, not once, not twice, but 3 times in one day. It was actually amazing, and to be honest, I kind of thought going into it that Slinky Dog was like overrated, and the line is 70 minutes for like no reason. I don't know why I thought that. I was like, maybe, you know, it's just little kids, you know, it's a little kids coaster. That dog is fun. The dog, I'm kind of down with the dog, okay? If you ever ridden the dog is actually worth the hype. I will say that. I do elaborate more on how Chloe and I managed to ride Slinky Dog 3 times in one day in a channel members video that will be going up after this video goes up, where I do like a Sims build. So you can check that out if you're interested. But I did ride the Slinky Dog, and it was exactly as fun as everybody says it is. I understand now. I am down with the dog. I understand the dog. I understand the hype. It is absolutely worth the wait. Actually, that's not true. Don't wait 80 minutes for the dog. Wait until something happens, like it starts raining, then get in line for the dog, and then have fun. But based on how long it took me to get to Disney World this time, because the last time it was literally a different name for the park, in maybe like 10 years, I will go back and I can ride the Avatar ride in Animal Kingdom. So look forward to that speed build life update in a decade. But we are placing down more of the objects. I had to mess with the tree heights a little bit in this build because I didn't realize how small the palm trees were in the other build, and I wanted to make sure you could see the house because that's like the interesting part. We're placing down the pads, and I also placed down that lighthouse, which is much bigger than anything in the other build, but I just really wanted it because it's red and it's cute, and I wanted to put it by the ocean. And I'm also adding these balloons, these festival balloons, to sort of go with the festival like flags that I added, and I just think they're really cute. So there you go. We're going to add a little farm. We're going to add the little table area. We're going to add the apple bobbing thing, the like apple bathtub, which I never use. It was just really fun making a build with a bunch of stuff that I don't normally gravitate towards and like colors that I don't normally use. Because I made a lot of fall builds in my day, besties. Like this is definitely a well-trodden territory for me. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. You know, I wanted to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. And I hope you enjoy what I came up with. But of course, now that we have all that explanation out of the way of the build, we can get on with the second part of the life update. Now, if that Disney World story was like the appetizer, this is going to be the entree of the life update. Okay, this is in the story where like rising action, and then it's going to have the peak of the story, and then it's going to go down. This is the peak. Okay. And a lot of you have maybe been looking forward to this. I don't know. I've been talking about it since February because it was my birthday present in February. But July 2025, remember we were in June, now it's July, my mod Chloe comes to see me in Atlanta, and we go to see Beyonce. Now, I just want to say, once again, my summers are not normally this extravagant. There were just many things happening all at once, and I'm very blessed to have many things happening to me all at once. But this was really exciting because this is my first ever time being in the pit at the Beyonce concert. We were inside the stage, okay? We were barricade at the Beyonce concert. But there was kind of a journey to get there, all right? So we had planned everything out. We knew exactly which MARTA stations to get to the stadium, and we knew like, oh, go look for this, do that, bring this with you, don't bring this with you. So we showed up at the stadium probably around like 7 a.m. We were not fully dressed with makeup or anything, but there were two of us, and we were like, okay, there's going to be a line forming of people in the pit, and one of us can stay behind and sit in the line, and then the other one can go back to my house and do their hair and their makeup, and then we can switch places. This plan, in theory, was going to be great. I just want to pause one more time because I did a little farm on the left side of the build, and I put the little flowers to look like strawberries, which I thought was very cute. But you know what's not cute? Getting heat stroke at the line for the pit at the Beyonce concert. So around 7 a.m., Chloe and I arrive, and then Chloe leaves first. She goes back to my house to get ready. She has to go do her hair, her makeup, all of that stuff. Her outfit, so extravagant. I'll have pictures. This was my outfit, slightly less extravagant, but still fun. I was a little bandit. I thought I was very cute. She looked amazing though, but it was a journey. It was a journey to get there. So I'm camping out, and it's pretty hot. I tell the people in the line, very organized. The beehive, they don't mess around. Everyone was very polite. Also, we're switching the trees to apple trees. Very cute, I know. Everyone in the line was very kind, and they took down me and Chloe's names and then what pit we were in. And I told them we were in Club Hoedown B, because I swear to you on my life that I got tickets for Club Hoedown B. We're going to go inside now to the interiors of the builds. We just finished the exterior, so now we're in the inside of Mint's house. And this is going to be the summer house. Also, I put this little poop hat on her. And then we're going to switch to Callie's house a little later. So don't get confused. It's okay. I understand. We just switched back to summer. It's okay. Relax. But they took down our names, and I told them we were in Club Hoedown B. And then Chloe left. I was sitting. A couple minutes go by, maybe like half an hour. Start to get a little fatigued just sitting there. And I realized, with just my like Dunkin' drink that I had, I was getting a little dehydrated. Now, I've mentioned before, I have several chronic conditions. I probably have POTS, which is a condition where one of the symptoms is when you stand up and everything goes black. That's not the only thing that happens, but that is one of the things. And that was happening along with nausea. So I could tell something was wrong, and I was like, okay, I gotta get out of here. So I left the line. I left our stuff there because it was just like a picnic blanket. It wasn't anything like valuable or anything. I left our stuff there, and I went to a cafe on the other side of the stadium to get some water. First of all, I couldn't even pay for the water because they didn't take Apple Pay, and I didn't have my wallet with me. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, can I please just have this water? It's like 50 cents. I don't have cash on me. And then I threw up in the cafe. I threw up outside on their sidewalk, and right as I was throwing up, my Uber pulled up to the cafe. At that point, I realized that I needed to go home, so I had called an Uber, and the Uber driver saw me throw up all over the sidewalk. And, at first, when I spoke to him, he was like, should I let you into my car? Which very understandable, but I was like, it's okay. I have a plastic bag. They gave me one. It's fine. And he very kindly took me home. So that was part one of this journey. I get home, I tell Chloe, I've been texting her this whole time, like, hey, not feeling great, it's getting worse. And I get home, and I decide to take my nausea medication that I have for a different chronic thing that I have, some stomach problem that I don't fully understand. But all I know is that the medicine that they give me for that makes me very sleepy. So I'm like, okay, I can take like half a pill of this and then take a nap. And Chloe can go back to the stadium and finish her hair and makeup there because she's very nice and she's my best friend. And I can rest for a little bit and then do my makeup, get dressed, go back to the stadium. So I take my little nap, maybe it's like an hour, and then I get up and I'm doing my makeup, and I get a text from Chloe that's like, the merch truck has arrived. And this is very appealing to us because we are in the pit and we don't want to carry our merch into the stadium. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get my stuff ready. I'm gonna go to the stadium. I'm gonna get in line with Chloe for merch. And then once we buy that, then one of us can go back home and bring the merch. And then the other one can be in the line for VIP when that opens. Because they told us that the VIP line, the check-in started at 4:30, but they did not specify what check-in meant, which is very important. So I get there, we're in the merch line. It takes a little while. It takes about an hour for us to get to the front. There's some very hilarious shenanigans of guys trying to cut the line and the people at the line having eagle eyes and knowing that they're trying to cut and asking us like, hey, did this guy cut? And we're like, yeah, he did. There was a little drama with that, but it was fine. The employees were very nice. We got our merch. Very expensive. I don't want to talk about it. But by the time we got our merch, the VIP check-in was about to open, and we had left like the picnic blanket and the other stuff downstairs in the VIP line because we were there all day. One of us at least was there for most of the day until I had my incident. So we go back down, and the VIP check-in line is opening at 4:30. What they didn't tell us was that check-in equals going into the stadium and going into the pit at 4:30. We thought we were being let in like an hour later because that's what it said. That's the information. There was some miscommunication between VIP Nation and Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That kind of rhymed a little bit until the end there. There was a miscommunication, and we were now being shuffled into the stadium at 4:30. Chloe was not dressed. She just had her hair and makeup done. I was fully dressed, but I was holding a bundle of merch. We were not the only people in the line who were confused and were like, wait a minute, we're not going in yet, are we? We're not dressed yet. We're not ready yet. Because, of course, the girls want to look good. So we get shuffled in. Of course, we're also at the front of the line, too, because we had our stuff camped out there all day. And so frantically, Chloe and I are like, okay, Chloe, you take the merch, you go back to my house, you get dressed. I'll be in the line. I have the tickets with me. So then I'll give them your name and you can have like a copy of my ID so that she could get in. And I went to go wait in the line. Also, this is where several things happened. The first thing was Chloe runs off to go back to my house. I go inside. I check in. I hand them my phone with my tickets on it, and the tickets say Club Hoedown A. You may remember a couple minutes ago when I told the people, the non-employees of VIP Nation, the fellow Beehive who were keeping the line in check, that I was Club Hoedown B. But I did have me and Chloe's names on that sticky note on that girl's phone that said that we were there at like 7:30 in the morning, just in the wrong line. And so I was like having a mental breakdown. And I just want to apologize for my behavior in the line. If any of the Beehive who happened to be in the pit that day remember me, I apologize. I was having a time. I was having a day. We're about to switch actually to the next interior. As you can see, I did like a fake outdoors area. That was sort of the theme for these interiors. And I actually did this one first and second. So I did Mint's house first, but then I got stuck. And then I just did Callie's house and figured out the layout. And then I went back and I did Mint's house. So this is going to be like the original version of that layout with like the little patio out back. And it's going to be really cute. But yeah, let me know once again in the comments which one you like more. Speaking of things that I love, having a mental breakdown in the line at the Beyonce concert. I just want to apologize again to my fellow Beehive. I really appreciate everyone's kindness. VIP Nation, the staff, oh my God. The staff of VIP Nation saved my life that day, because after all of this happens, right? I'm freaking out. I'm in the wrong line. We're not going to be barricade. And I was so sad. I was like, I wanted to get Chloe barricade and all this stuff. I get a text from Chloe that she does not have the keys to my house. And I feel in my pocket, in my pants, and lo and behold, the keys to my house are right there. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm actually gonna have a mental breakdown. And I'm freaking out because Chloe spent literally like 40 hours making her outfit by hand. She made chaps out of jeans. She bedazzled them herself. I mean, I'll show the outfit again. Look at the material. Exactly. God, just remembering this, it was the most stressful thing. Oh my God. But once again, staff of VIP Nation and the Beehive who were in the pit with us were so nice. They were beyond kind. Thank you to the birthday girls who were the ones keeping track of the names on the phone, who let us in further in front in the line. Thank you so much to the staff at VIP Nation who helped me get my keys outside the stadium so that Chloe could get into my house. Chloe literally had to come back on the train back to the stadium, get my keys from a security guard at the stadium, and then go back to my house to get dressed. But it was worth it because she looked amazing. But that was the trials and tribulations of getting into the Beyonce concert. But I mean, look at the results. Look at the material. Look at the experience, okay? This was my my sign that I had. I don't actually know if Beyonce saw my sign or read my sign. A lot of people's signs were not as silly as mine. She did not sing Bodyguard directly to me, which I was not expecting, but I'm glad that I put in a good college try, okay? The one part about being in the pit that made me sad was that during Renaissance Tour, she only came down the catwalk like one time during Break My Soul, and that is where me and Chloe were sitting during that concert. And so this time I was like, okay, we're gonna be in the front, we're gonna be in the pit, and we're gonna see everything. And then this concert, she had a mini stage down at the bottom of the catwalk that she went to all the time for some of the best songs in the show. And I was like, oh, okay, I see how it is, Beyonce. So I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next tour, but we'll see. Whatever tricks she tries to play, I'm gonna have to be 2 steps ahead of her. But it was like the most amazing thing you can fathom. Also, we were there for the reveal of the horse, because this was after the car broke down at the Houston show and she took out 16 carriages, which is crazy. If I went to the Beyonce concert, I'm so sorry to the DC people who did not get 16 carriages. You should file a insurance claim for that. I apologize that you had to experience that, but I got to experience 16 carriages on the golden horse, and it was amazing. But yeah, that we went to night 1. It was super fun. We were in a corner with a bunch of birthday girls, and Beyonce kept coming over and saying happy birthday to them. And they were so sweet. Everyone was so amazing. Chloe looked amazing. I thought I looked pretty cute too. And after all of the trials and tribulations, I did have the time of my life. So that was the Beyonce concert. I'll probably put in more footage of the concert while I'm rambling. Not that you don't want to see Callie's beautiful house, but I figured, you know, I had to weigh what was more interesting in this moment. I will say 2 things about the build before we move on to the final part of the life update. I guess 3 things. The first thing is that, unfortunately, we do get rid of the Apple TV. I really wanted to keep it because I thought it was so perfect for this build, but unfortunately, I ended up putting a grandfather clock there instead, which I think balanced out the space a little bit better because the wall is just so tall and I couldn't find anything that I liked to put like over the TV. Like I didn't find any lamps or anything that I could put on the ceiling that I thought made it look good and made it look more balanced. So you replace that with the grandfather clock. But the second thing is that wall clock I forgot to remove when I added the grandfather clock. So there's going to be 2 clocks in the living room. I apologize for that. Maybe I'll fix that if you guys want me to upload this to my HHP account and you guys want to tour this build, let me know. So those are the first 2. And then the third thing is that I didn't really decorate the far wall, like the one with the door leading into the house, because like I mentioned earlier in the build, I wanted these builds to look very specific from the front, because I wanted them to look very matchy-matchy. So like you look at them from one angle from the front and you're like, oh, it's the same build, which is not normal for me. Normally I do all my angles and I recommend you check all your angles as well. But for this build in particular, it's like, no, this is the angle that we're going to look at them from, and I'm going to have the side-by-side pictures, and it's going to look really cool. So that was my thought process behind that. So apologies, it's not quite as detailed as some of my other builds, but I did do 2 builds in this one, so I hope you enjoy. But the final part of the life update, once again, I want to reiterate, normally, my life is not this extravagant, but after the Beyonce concert, my boyfriend and I went to the beach. I mean, I told you guys it was going to be like climax and then resolution, like a story, it's getting exciting, and then it's really exciting, and then it's less exciting. But I'm really glad that we went because I needed to de-stress. Even though the Beyonce concert was extremely fun, it did sap all of the energy out of my body. And I'm really glad that I got to go to the beach. I think he also needed that trip too because he is very stressed at work. So it was very nice, and I'm glad that I got to relax. And we didn't really get to go swimming because it was double red flag days on most of the days we were there. It was very windy and the surf was crazy, but it was really fun. We got to just relax and unwind, and we had a good time. I got to do some reading. One of the videos that's in the pipeline for Extra Besties Claims Court is another book recommendations video, so I will let you guys know what I have been reading in that video. But recently I've been reading the Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter light novel, because I already read the manga, and now I'm reading the light novel, and it's very fun. It's very cute. I like it a lot. And the anime is coming out next year, I think. So I wanted to get up to date on the story, but I've been enjoying that. But we are almost at the end of the build. I'm going to have a little outro where I talk more about what I'm going to be posting next. So make sure to stick around for that. But thank you all for making it to the end. I hope you enjoyed that life update. It was sort of like fun at the beginning and then very chaotic and then a little relaxing at the end. So maybe this video for you can be like a relaxing trip to the beach. If you prefer Mint's house, if you prefer Callie's house and it's like a relaxing trip to like an apple orchard, maybe, I don't know. I would love to go like apple picking or pumpkin picking like I did when I was a little kid. Actually, you know what? That is where my original beef with the bees started, because I got stung by a bee at an apple orchard when I was a kid, like a little baby, and my eye swelled up, and my parents didn't even notice that I got stung until like my eye was completely closed. So, you know, this beef, it runs really deep, actually, you know, if you think about it. But we're almost at the end here. I added a couple things to add like sounds of birds and like the deer scare into the build. So I am gonna hop over to the outro in a second. And remember to let me know which of these 2 builds you enjoyed more. I don't know, let me know what you were up to while you were watching. And we're gonna also give this build a name. We're gonna call it Autumnal Atmosphere, I think. That's what I called it. And I called the other one Summer Sanctuary. So there you go, besties. Those are your options. Pick whichever one you like. All right, besties, here we are at the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I think I'm going to do half of this outro at Mint's house and half the outro at Callie's house. And once again, let me know which one you like more down in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, if you liked this video, to leave a like. It really helps me out. If you really liked this video, you can subscribe and hit the little bell to be notified every time I post or go live. Reminder that in the description is a link to my friend Mohammed's fundraiser for his family. It's really means a lot to me if you would support that. I already donated myself, and like I said, I am going to be doing a fundraising stream for Mohammed and his family. So I'll put a poll up on the channel page so we can pick which type of fundraiser we're going to do. If we're going to do build tours, or if we're going to do you control my build, and we'll do that around the end of September. So once again, subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified when that fundraising stream goes live. And of course, you'll also be notified every other time that I post. So recently we've been doing Wonderful Wednesdays, where I stream Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life on Wednesdays. So if you've been looking for a stream that you can sit down with while you play Grand Bazaar on your Switch, that is definitely the one to check out. I also mentioned I'm going to be going back to both Tokyo 3 and Nautilus in the near future because I have to clean Nautilus up, so look forward to that. And I mentioned at the beginning of this video how this is based on a Sims challenge, the Opposite Twins challenge, and that is actually very relevant because I really want to make a video of a tutorial for Animal Crossing players who want to get into the Sims. So if you have any Sims questions that you want to ask, leave those down below in the comments and I'll make sure to address them in that video. So be on the lookout for that. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here on this earth. You are a beautiful person inside and out. I appreciate you so much. A special thank you to anyone who donates to or shares Mohammed's fundraiser. I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. He is my friend and I really care about him and his family. So it would mean the world to me if you did that. And with that all being said, I'll show a little tour of both of the builds and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye, besties. I'm kind of down with the dog, okay?